Welcome to another edition of Through My Lens. This is a special series that I've been doing throughout the month of June as part of a fundraiser for Research Hers program. And that is a program designed to empower women in the workplace who are searching for innovative ways to fight cancer. But it's also an opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of the whole process of what it takes to help someone heal in cancer. So I am really, really excited to be an ambassador for the Research Hers program this year. And I decided to do this special series to raise awareness and to highlight some of the women that I know who have not just survived cancer, but are thriving as a result of their experience. And so today I have special guest Minister Daria Diller Stone. She's a mentor, a prayer warrior of mine, a sister girlfriend, and a colleague. And so I am so honored for you to be here today to share your story with us.
And I am honored to be able to be here and share my story with you because there is a story. And I am just glad that what I've been through as a cancer survivor, my story gives God the glory, but it also helps men and women, boys and girls to know that God is still working miracles, and you just have to believe.
Absolutely. And that was really the main importance, because sometimes when we hear the C word, we think it's a death sentence. And I wanted to be able to highlight some folks who that may have been the case, but God had another plan. And so I'm just thankful that you were willing and able to share your story. So tell me, first of all, I know there's so many different forms of cancer, and we've highlighted breast cancer over the last couple of interviews, but I know your diagnosis was a little different. Tell us a little bit about your diagnosis.
In 1984, I went to the doctor for a regular routine pap smear checkup and everything, and the doctor called in another doctor. Now, I want you to picture this. They got my legs up in a stirrup. The doctor calls in another doctor that works in the office. I've seen him in the office, but has never been in the room with me. And then that second doctor calls in a third doctor. When the third doctor came in, I took my legs out of the stirrup because as they're coming in, they're talking, but they're talking language, medical language I'm not familiar with. And they're talking about me, my body, whatever my legs open was showing them. Let me just be real. I took my leg. I said, look, I don't know what y'all doing having a conference. I'm in the room. Ain't nobody talking to me. Oh, Miss Daria, we're so sorry, but blah, blah, blah. It's just we see some things that we need to act on within the next 6 weeks. And I don't understand. Have you been in pain? Have you experienced any aches, feeling like needles when you have your menstrual? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I always have had trouble with my menstrual 3 days. I'm always, in pain. My doctor, the two other doctors went out of the room. I had cancer of the uterus. And the Dr. Larry Sharmy, I will never forget him. He said, if I were you, I would go home and get ready. First of all, to be in the hospital, we need to remove this as soon as possible because you just had a pap smear last year. And within a year, in fact, I think it was in 6 months because they would look at me every 6 months. Yeah, it was. And within 6 months, this has happened. And it shows that it's aggressive because really we shouldn't even be seeing anything. Without doing an x-ray.
Right.
I knew it was God then. And I was a real babe in Christ then, but all I needed was that mustard seed faith. That C word is like a monster when you hear it. It's like Godzilla and King Kong and Jack the Ripper and Dracula, all in my mind, all that were coming into your space saying, we got you. You scared now. And I was. Okay, so they do the surgery. I'm in Good Sam Hospital for 21 days. Back then, that was, and even now, that was a very long time.
It is.
And when the doctor finally released me, he showed me, which I asked him to do. I said, Dr. Larry Sharmy, will you draw a picture of how this cancer looks in my uterus now and how it's going to look when you remove it, just so I can have a visual? And he did that for me in pencil. He drew a picture that best as he could that I could understand, telling me what was transpiring. And then when it was over, he drew another picture. So when he comes in to tell him, he said, we have tried everything. We thought we got it all. We kept you out here trying to see if the medication works, but it got up into your intestines. And the thing about that, because there's so many ways it can go, we don't want to open you up and then see that it's wound around an intestine. We can't get to it, but now you open. And so we want you to take chemo and or radiation. And I had seen how chemo and radiation affects people's quality of life. Back then, they hadn't made the strides that they've made now. So I opted not to do that. I said, Lord, it's going to have to be you. You're going to have to heal me. So when the doctor sent me home, I asked him, I said, so in essence, you're saying I'm going home to die. I spent 21 days of Good Sam, but now you've done all you can do. He said, I didn't say that, you did. But I understand he couldn't, you know. And long story short, I'm here. It's 2020. But the journey that I went through, it helped me to lean on Christ more. It helped me to eat right, better, to drink lots of water. I started drinking 60 to 80 ounces of water in the 80s. And I, everybody knows, if I sit at a computer, if you sit in a conference with me, I want water, water, water. I have my own water bottle. Now I'm a Kangen, a water distributor. So I have that, drink my water, but it was a wake up call, if you will, that life is so short. I had 3 little girls waiting for me at home in 84. And I asked the Lord, I said, surely you're not going to take me and leave them without me. So what I did, not knowing, I made tapes, audio cassette tapes for when they graduated from high school, when they graduated from college, when they got married, and when they had their first child, because I did believe the doctor's report. I really did. I didn't lean on God the way I do now. And I'm like, I better get ready to die.
Wow.
Girl, people, then something rose up in my spirit. And I'm like, I'm not a quitter. Why am I quitting? And I just got on my knees and I prayed profusely. I laid on the floor prostrate and I said, Lord, surely you ain't going to take me and leave them 3 girls without me. And I know the family going to take care of them. My family's awesome. I know all that, but you gave them to me and I'm trying to be a good steward over them. I was so angry because I ate right. You know, I was married. I couldn't believe that I had cancer when I did everything right. When the doctor reminded me, he said, cancer don't discriminate. You don't care whether you eat right, live right, do right, whatever. It don't discriminate. It's not personal. It just happened. But really, I can say that in 84, when that happened, it changed the trajectory of my spiritual walk as well as my physical walk. And there have been things that have happened that had I not had that experience in 84, I would have caved in 2003, in 2007, in 2020, you know. But because I've been through some things, the Lord ain't never left me, I persevere. I cry, I reach out, I vent, I holler, I scream. I don't like it. I tell the Lord I don't like it. But I do love the fact that you won't leave me the way you found me. And it's a work always in progress. And so, I had cancer of the uterus. I still have one ovary, but I know what that word means when Paul says, I'm more than a conqueror. There's a definition for it, but the Lord has showed me with him, I am, and you are more than a conqueror.
That is just awesome. I wanted to ask you, had cancer ran in your family? Was it something that, you know, was on your radar that I needed to get tested on a regular basis or anything like that?
No, Karen, to my knowledge, I had never heard as a child even adult conversations about cancer. But you have to understand, in the era I grew up in, most grown-ups wouldn't have talked about that in front of a child.
Absolutely.
So the
Absolutely.
things that we taught, I had to tell my girls. I tell them everything. I tell my spiritual daughters, but in the era I grew up in, that would be considered a secret. And I learned because when I had it, so this is the kind of secret that kills a family. Because when it does happen, you think you're the first one. It ain't never happened to nobody. Or you think you haven't lived right because it never happened to nobody. Or your walk ain't strong and then nobody talked about it. When my grandmother died in 94, I believe it was. Yeah. Daddy died in 99. My grandmother had colon cancer, but she thought it was just stomach ache. She never went to the doctor about it. We didn't know till they got ready to operate on her that the cancer had just wreaked havoc in her colon. And then, there's nobody else. I think my aunt. Then I found out after my grandmother died, her sister had breast cancer and had one or two of them removed. I can't remember, but I never heard about that until, till they died in 94. Now I done been through what I've been through 10 years, thinking none of my sisters or brothers, not friends. Yeah, but that don't count because, like you said, it was not on my radar. Wow. It wasn't something I needed to be prevented about. You know what I'm saying? On my mind.
So I heard you mention a couple of things. You talked about a support system. You talked about eating right. So based on what you said, it sounded like you did not have chemotherapy or radiation or anything like that.
No, I didn't.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I told God, if it's going to happen, you're going to have to heal me, because I always, even though I do have to take medication, I get that. I always look at what the side effects are. And sometimes I tell the Lord, you're going to have to make sure them side effects don't happen, because I'm not going to take the medication and be worse off than I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me, what piece of advice would you give a woman? I think what you said was so important, is that to share your story with your family, your girls, so that they know when they're going to the doctor, the types of conversations they should be having about their medical history and their family.
Well, what I've done is you have to talk to them. So many times I find that the secrets that we keep in our family are worse than the cancer that we have in our family. Because see, them secrets go from generation to generation.
That's right.
And there's nobody treating the matter, so the matter treats you. And the next thing you know, like I said, it's a surprise. But I thought it was my responsibility as a mother and a spiritual mother, as a sister, friend, prayer warrior. You need to know to do this. And even though the doctor said it would come back, they can't guarantee it won't. It's up in your intestine. They can't guarantee. Sometimes things move themselves through a natural bowel movement over time. We just don't want to go up there trying to cut in your intestines without knowing actually where it is. But it did go up further than they thought. So It was a test. I think that was a test. I look at it. It was truly a test of my faith more than anything. It was a test of my faith, because I'm the type of person I was, especially then. You're going to have to show me. Yeah, it says that, but God knows I'm one of His child. That I'm like what was his name? That wanted to see the nails in Jesus's hand. He didn't believe it till he saw the nails. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Thomas, Doubting Thomas. That was me. I didn't know. I hadn't walked down this line before, and it was just another victory, a victory walk. And one of many, but the key is to conversate about it, communicate about it, go get checked, don't assume, and tell them to look for it, because sometimes it don't show up till it's there. And sometimes you can see it when it's in developing form. Certain things, happen in your body. So, and just recently, I can share this. When my mom was diagnosed, with breast cancer just recently, At age 86, she said, I reminded her about mine and what happened. She said, I'm going to lean on that, Lord. And mom's not, she doesn't, she has challenges believing the word in church because of church hurt and how she was raised. But the thing is, I tell mom all the time, you ain't nothing but a prayer warrior because you wouldn't have lasted this long.
That's
so
right.
The fact that me talking and telling her about mine, if he did it for you, she said, I believe he'll do it for me. You don't know what a testimony that was for her to believe that. And she told the surgeon, I'm not doing it. It ain't bothering me. I'm not going to bother it. He showed her where it is, everything. And I love seeing her faith. But it was because had I not told my story, she might have been more scared. Now, don't get me wrong. She was afraid and it's natural, but she also had more faith because of my story.
Wow. And and really that is a testament. I mean, it had to be your faith that would deny any kind of the traditional treatments that are used to treat cancer, that you just said, no, that was just not going to be your journey. That wasn't going to be a part of that.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be a part of my script.
Absolutely. And how important you think with research now, how is that impacting the importance of the treatments of various cancers?
Because of research, women my age and younger will not have to go through what I went through and others older than me went through. The chemotherapy, the radiation, there's new medication, there's new techniques, there's new tests. I'm just grateful that my doctor decided to let me be the final say in what I do with my body. And he couldn't make me take radiation. Yes, it would. We shrink or whatever. He couldn't make me take chemo. Yes, it's going to have side effects. You're nauseous. You sleep for days. You're tired. You're lethargic. But now, it still has its side effect, but many of those that were prevalent side effects in 1984 because of research, they have been either eradicated or minimized. So research is very important. Research is very important. It was important up until 84. What had happened in the 60s and 50s, women, they called it something else, because I realized as I talked to my aunts and my grandmother, who was still living at the time in 84, as I started talking about it, I think that's what Sally had, but she just, she was this and that, had the same symptom, but they called it a sick spell, or she had some kind of a fit. She had a fit or something. She had some kind of schism in her body. What is schism in your body? But they didn't know. So based on what they said, I'm like, no, I'm going to have to be more definitive, because I'm telling you something, but I ain't giving you enough information. So research, communication, action, all go together when it comes to not just cancer, but any disease, any distress, any journey, medical or physical, emotional. It takes all of that. Research helps you to understand why it happens, what to do when it happens, and then what to do after it happens. It's necessary.
Well, Minister Stone, I really appreciate you taking your time and sharing your story. What a testimony that I think we've been talking about faith all week, and how that's just carrying us from one situation, one challenge to another. So we really appreciate that. Any final words?
Just remember that a lot of things that we go through, they're not for us. We're doing it for somebody else. We're doing it so somebody else would know that they can get up when they fall down. We're doing it for somebody that feels like their doctor's report is a period behind it when it's only a semicolon. So I really want to encourage those that have any sickness, especially cancer. It comes in so many different forms, but don't let it become the drive that runs you. If you don't treat cancer the way it should be treated, cancer will sure do what it's going to do. It's going to deprive you of a quality life. So take care of your temple now so your temple can take care of you when you get my age. My grandmother used to say. So what you do now as a younger person will affect you as a mature adult like I've become. And I find that I'm healthier now because I want a great quality of life. I want the best quality of life I can have. You have to want it. And even though some things are passed down from generation to generation, we have, as the body of Christ, as believers, the authority to cancel those generational curses. And that's what I did. Mm-hmm. I did. I found out a lot. I did. So just don't think the doctor has the final say so. When you can, nothing but $1, give to the Cancer Society. You know, just think if from 84 to now, every day, if I just gave $1, I'm a philanthropist because that's what Daria has done. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't know how I do it. My children tell me all the time, Mama, you've been a philanthropist. But I try to give back because without research, there's a strong possibility a lot of us wouldn't be here. Medical research is crucial and vital. So, Karen, thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to tell my story so that God gets the glory. And I have been enjoying this series. It's much needed at a time like this. The pandemic has caused a lot of great things to come to fruition. Absolutely. I've seen ministries, businesses grow and flourish right in the midst of the battlefield that we're on. So that's encouraging too. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for your gifts. May God continue to stir up them gifts in you. And if I can ever do anything to help you along your journey, you know I'm there.
Well, thank you so much. And just your testimony of faith, it just inspires us all to face whatever challenge we have head on because we know God is in charge. Exactly. Thank you so much and have a wonderful afternoon.
Because I care, I share.
God bless.
God bless.